Once upon a time, in a beautiful and thriving city, lived a woman named Kayla. She was known far and wide, not for her beauty, which she had in abundance, but for something strange. No matter the occasion or the weather, Kayla wore footwear on only one foot. Left or right, no one could say for sure which came first, but the other foot was always bare. Whether she was heading to the market or a wedding, attending church or strolling down the street, Kayla would step out confidently, her bare foot wobbling slightly beside the high heel or sandal on the other. She never forgot, never made a mistake, and never wore both shoes, even once. People mocked her. She must be mad, they said. Something evil has possessed her, others whispered, crossing themselves as she passed. At the market, some traders refused to sell to her. Children pointed and laughed. Neighbors in the compound shook their heads and spat on the ground. Whatever evil she did has come back to haunt her, they hissed. God forbid, some would spit on the ground. But Kayla was not mad. She wasn't possessed. She was not even confused. She was calm, focused, and at peace. She never responded to their insults, never stopped going out, and never wore two shoes. Her in-laws had their theories too. It's the evil spirit she invoked on our son that's punishing her now, she must go back to her parents, they said. They pressured George, her husband, to send her back to her father's house, but George, who had once been gravely ill and lost everything, loved his wife deeply. Since his recovery, sudden fortune had visited him. His company kept promoting him and his name keeps rising like the morning sun, and despite the growing pressure, he would not let Kayla go. But he was troubled each night. After the household slept, he would sit at his desk, head buried in his hands, wondering what had become of the woman he married. Kayla, he would ask her gently, why do you wear only one shoe? She would always smile and reply, I'm doing it for our good. But he never understood. For our good? What good comes from walking around like that? Please, don't say that again, he would warn her with a frustrated tone. At his office, his colleagues laughed behind his back. Here comes the husband of the wobbling woman. Still, George loved Kayla. Letting her go felt like cutting his own flesh. Kayla, through all of it, remained unshaken. She prayed quietly, smiled at the sun, and carried out her duties like a queen on a mission. She wobbled through the city with her one shoe and unbothered joy. Then one day, George closed a multi-million naira deal, and he was given a house in appreciation by the company. A feast was organized to celebrate the new house. Friends, colleagues and families were present. On the day of the feast, the house was filled, friends, neighbors, George's mother and sisters, all smiling and dancing. Kayla dressed in her finest. Her makeup glowed. Her beauty radiating like the sun. But as always, one foot was bare. When she walked into the room, wobbling gently, all eyes turned. She moved through the crowd with one step at a time, then slipped, almost falling. The room went silent for a second, then laughter erupted. Is this your wife? One of George's friends asked, tapping him mockingly. What is this nonsense? George shouted, springing to his feet, his eyes full of fury. Why today of all days? I thought, just today, you would wear both shoes. Kayla knelt. Please understand, she whispered. It's for your good. Stop saying that. George roared. You're embarrassing me. The celebration ended in disgrace. Guests walked out still laughing. George stormed out in anger. Back home, George's mother and sister confronts yelled at Kayla, you are leaving this house today. She'll bring shame and misfortune. What kind of woman behaves like this? They convinced George before Kayla could utter a word. Gorge's mother landed a hot slap on her face. Moments later, Kayla's clothes and shoes were flying through the window. Quietly, Kayla packed her things. George stood motionless watching her. He uttered no word, and no attempt to stop her mother. Kayla finished packing and left, still wobbling on one foot. Still smiling. Still unashamed. Witch, the onlookers called. She must be cursed. 1 year passed. Kayla stayed at her father's house. Alone. Still wearing one shoe. Still wobbling. Still smiling. Never tired. One evening, as the stars blinked gently in the sky and the moon watched over the village like a silent mother, Kayla sat under the big shade tree. The night birds whispered around her. Suddenly, a voice came, soft and familiar. "O virtuous woman, it is over. You have accomplished the task," the voice said. Kayla fell to her knees. "But I've been cast away," she wept. "All that you lost will be restored," the voice promised. And with a smile and tears of joy, she whispered, "Thank you." Back in the city, George's success continued, but so did the loss. Money came in like a flood, but vanished like smoke. Nothing stayed. No savings. No peace. He tried to understand, but nothing made sense. Every woman he approached turned him down. One evening, as he walked home, weary and heartbroken, an old woman in white approached him. She balanced a basket of herbs on her head and wore a headscarf that gleamed in the evening light. "Please, my son," she said gently, "help me carry my basket to the next junction." George took it without hesitation. They walked in silence. At the junction, he offered to take it to her house. "No, my journey ends here," she said. He gently placed the basket back on her head. Then she called his name. "George." He froze. Her voice had changed. It echoed like thunder and calm wind at once. 10 years ago, just after your wedding, you fell ill. No one could cure you, not pastors, not herbalists, not imams. They called Kayla a witch. But every night, while others slept, she cried to the heavens for you. The woman paused. Her cries disturbed my peace, so I gave her a herb to cook and give you day and night till you regain consciousness. But there was a price she must pay for 10 years if she wants you healed and successful. If she stopped, even for a day, your life would end, your success would wither. She agreed to carry your burden, she paid in full. George collapsed to the ground. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice trembling. "Where is she now, and what was that price?" "She is in her father's house. Go to her. She will tell you, if she wishes." The woman turned and vanished into the night. That same night, George rushed to Kayla's father's compound. Expecting to find a broken woman, he met a radiant queen, standing tall, wearing both shoes. He dropped to his knees. "I'm sorry," he whispered. Kayla helped him up, smiling. "I understand. Any man in your shoes would have done the same." While they treated themselves with a good meal that evening, George said, "I met a strange old woman today," George said. "She told me everything. But she said you can tell me what price you paid, if you're willing." Kayla sighed, then nodded. "For 10 years, I wore one shoe. I faced shame, insult, and mockery. That was the price for your healing and success. I was warned, if I ever stopped, even for one day, you would suffer worse." George held her hands and wept. "I didn't believe you. Even when I threw you away, you didn't stop. I will never forget what you did for me." "It is over now," Kayla said gently. "Get up." George took her home. From that day, fortune no longer vanished. Their home overflowed with peace, wealth, and joy. And together, they lived happily ever after. Kayla and George's story reminds us of the importance of trust and patience in relationship. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please help this channel to grow by clicking on the subscribe button, like and share. Thanks for watching and see you in our next story.